Okay. Skeletons. So you can just check out the skeletons or slideshow as we go along. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're talking about Indonesia. Now, look on the map. I see a bunch of islands down here. Now, let's see if you can see this one. You see like this, well sorry, not that. This island here, it's kind of cut. You see like a border that goes through the middle. The southern part of that is Indonesia. You know, so if you're wanting to color that in, just color in the bottom part of that. Also, over here on the left, this is the island of New Guinea. It's actually been kind of chopped off in the middle. Right? So that is not just, the other half of that island is not part of Indonesia, which is not showing up on this map. I just want to point out one more on here. You see there's a smaller one that's like pretty long and skinny down at the bottom. And that is the island of Timor. Half of that is part of Indonesia. Like if you're looking at it, it'd be the half on the left. So only color about half of that one in. Right? Cut about the middle, cover half of it. And actually we'll talk about the other half of that island today too.
Wait, like this?
Uh-huh, yeah. All of these. Yeah, the big one, the bigger one up here is still Indonesia.
So is the West?
Not that like that peninsula down here, not Indonesia. That is all these.
Wait, what's Indonesia again?
This island right here is. But you see this long peninsula coming down? This is not. None of this is.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Indonesia. This name is actually like kind of a pretty recent name. Only like in the 20th century they start using the name Indonesia to call this, to talk about this area. What the name means, Indo is from India, which India gets its name from the Indus River in India. And Nesia or Nizos are islands in Greek. So Indonesia is like the Indian islands if you translate it. And that's where, you know, you had Aboriginal people, you know, tribal people in all these islands. But the first kingdoms were about like the 1st century AD, so kind of close to the time of Christ and just after. You know, you had people that came from India, Hindu people, came from India into these areas, set up kingdoms here. And then they separated into various kingdoms. But then you had another religious group kind of come into here and take over a lot of areas.
Taoism?
No, any other guesses?
Buddhism?
Huh?
Buddhism?
Buddhism, you did have some Buddhists come in here, but another one like really came over and took over the area. Yeah, Islam, Muslims came in here about the 1200s AD. So kind of like the period when Crusades were going on in Jerusalem and the Holy Land. Muslim traders were coming over and were trading this area and spread Islam into here. And by about the 1400s, these islands were primarily Muslim, most people in these islands.
Wait, which section? I can't remember which section it was. So this island, right?
Yep, that island.
Oh wait, where is its capital? Because I'm going to read that in pencil.
We'll talk about the capital soon. The Europeans started to arrive in the 1500s. You know, European explorers went out around the world. Anybody want to guess what who the first Europeans were?
First.
To reach some part of Indonesia?
Spanish. Dutch.
Not Spanish. Dutch, you're pretty close.
Belgium.
Because they did come to that area.
Denmark.
Portuguese.
Oh, Portuguese.
Portuguese sailors were the first.
Oh,
But
Spanish
they didn't really, you know, they set up a couple of little trading posts, but they didn't really spread over the area very much. And pretty soon afterwards, the Dutch arrived. And they kind of started to push the Portuguese out. And yeah, by 1595, the Dutch had arrived. And, you know, back in those days, they had they set up companies, like the countries would set up trading companies, to go out to different parts of the world, and it wasn't really the country themselves that exactly ruled that area, but the company from that country. And it was the Dutch East Indies Company, or Dutch United East Indies Company, that set up their control over all these islands. And then they ruled for several centuries. Right. By 1800 though, that trading company, they went bankrupt, and so the actual government of the Netherlands took over the Indonesia. So then it was actually part of the Kingdom of Holland at that time. Okay, let's go ahead and go. Oh, what is this here? You see something weird I need to get rid of, Tony? So these are all scenes that you find around Indonesia. Show you kind of what it's like. What kind of climate do you see here?
Kind of tropical.
Yeah, it's tropical. It's even closer to the equator than.
Is that Indonesia?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about some of the different parts of Indonesia. Okay, capital of Indonesia. Oh, go ahead and get your chart. Indonesia. Here, I'll write it up here. In case you need the spelling. I should actually start with any interesting facts that you guys know about Indonesia that you would want to share. Something you know about Indonesia before we go more into it. You know something about it, or have any interesting things to tell about it?
Like that they're like 18,000 islands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something I was going to mention too. So almost 18,000 islands. So remember the Philippines, you're like, whoa, it's like 7,000, or how many islands is it? 12,000? Yeah,
7.
Oh yeah, 7,000 islands in the Philippines, right? It's like, okay, Indonesia, got them beat by a lot, right? Almost 18,000.
And some of its islands are bigger.
Mm-hmm. There's some pretty big islands. Some of the largest islands in the world. You find in the Philippines.
Wait, how do I write?
Not Philippines, Indonesia. One of the largest islands in the world are in Indonesia. Yeah, about 12,000 islands in Indonesia are inhabited. So that's a lot of islands.
South India.
What about anything else? Anything else you mentioned about Indonesia that you found out or that you know? Okay. What about capital? Anybody know the capital of Indonesia?
Not me.
Well, in the Dutch times, they called it Batavia. But now, it's
Jakarta.
Jakarta. Jakarta is actually one of the largest cities in the world. You have an area called Jakarta. It's about 5 different cities that all kind of grew together, and all together it's about 24 million people. Right. So that's larger than the largest city in the United States.
What's the largest city in the United States?
New York City.
Oh, how big is that?
About 12 million.
Anchorage, Alaska is the city that covers the most ground area.
Alright.
Olivia,
Population of Indonesia.
Oh wait, where is Jakarta located?
Oh yeah, where's Jakarta? It is on the island of Java. So I also want you to mark Java, which is this one here. This one down the south that's pretty long. And Jakarta is located, grab my pen out. Mark on this end of the island, right about here. See that dot. That's where you find Jakarta.
Like right here.
And then also label that island there Java. Ever heard that name before? Not Java. JavaScript. Yeah. Took that name for JavaScript, like a coding language. How about, does anybody know that like Java used to be like a nickname for coffee? All right, I guess some people still use it, but I don't think it's used as much anymore. That's because this used to be one of the first like areas that supplied coffee to Europe. Java.
So, alright. Okay, so.
Population of Indonesia, like the most recent estimate, 255 million. How's that compare to the Philippines?
Tons.
Yeah, like 2.5 times Philippines has. How about the United States?
Almost the United States. Almost the
Yeah.
population.
It's getting close. It's like 70% population of the United States. United States is the country with the 3rd highest population in the world. Indonesia is 4th highest population in the world. So it's a pretty significant country.
China and Russia are the first place and second place.
China and
Russia
India.
doesn't have
Oh.
that much population. I mean,
Yeah, Russia comes down a couple more down the list.
Russia's just really big.
it has
Yeah.
like 100 million. But the United States has 300
So,
million.
yeah, 4th highest population in the world. There are also about 8 million more Indonesians that live overseas. Yeah. Not as high a percentage as like the Philippines, but quite a few more. Right? Now the size of Indonesia, what would you guess? What percentage of the size of the United States would you guess Indonesia is if you're just kind of like looking at it? If you combined all those islands together, added all of that territory, what would you say? 50%, 70%, 30%? What's your?
I guess like 30. No, I guess like 25%. No, I guess like 40%. No, 38%. I'll do 20%.
25 to 30.
Well, I'm going to give you the exact size here. 700. Well, it's rounded off anyway. 735,000 square miles. Yep.
Wow,
How's that compared to the United States?
it's so small.
Well, yeah. I think that's way larger than States.
Nearly 4 million square miles for the United States. So basically, you're about 1/5, about 20% the size of the United States, right? So you got like 70% of the population, but in 20% of the space, right? Now, one thing is like when you look at the United States, sometimes you're only thinking of like the continental United States, but you kind of forget about Alaska, like the lot of territory that adds into the United States too. You know? Basically, if you took the states of Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, if you took those states, their area, you got about equal to Indonesia. Okay. Now,
What's that thingy?
the island of Java,
On the thing, it's
you know all these people you have here? Oh, sorry, what did you ask me?
It's a really weird stuff on the video. I think it's
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll mention this is some of the, the cultural, I guess characteristics of some of the religious ceremonies, dances, cultural aspects. Hinduism had a lot of impact on Indonesia, so like their dances, their temples, a lot of that, you can see Hindu culture in India in that. Even though most are Muslim now. Island of Java, you have almost 60% of the whole population just on that kind of small island, right? So there are, over 100 million people.
With all this
On that
gigantic
one
island right here, I think it's the biggest island there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what that one is. Because you should know, there's a couple other major islands I want you to know too. that one that Alex was talking about. You know, this one that's on the far end. His name's Sumatra. Do you have you heard of that one before?
Not me.
Sumatra. Go ahead and label that one on your map.
Wait,
Where-
what's
where-
Sumatra?
It's the one like just to the left of Java. You know, that goes up diagonal from where Java's at.
Whoa, those are
Pretty large.
They look creepy too. Look at their
They're like
wings.
bats. They look like
Butterflies, black butterflies.
They're fruit bats. You know
Indonesia has some pretty spectacular wildlife. You know, a lot of variety, a lot of diversity. So you'll see some here. I haven't been watching the screen, but hasn't shown the Komodo
wait, it
dragons
says
yet.
245 million, Dad, on the thing right there.
This is from 2013 when this video was put up, so it's been a couple of years, and the most recent estimate is 255,000.
Oh.
But yeah, Komodo dragons you find in Indonesia on some of their smaller islands. That's where you find Komodo Island. Sumatra, that's where you find orangutans, which are pretty critically endangered now because of deforestation. You also find one of the rarest animals in the world, which you probably haven't even heard of, which is the Javan rhinoceros. So a different species of rhinoceros that lives in Indonesia on the island of Java. And you can imagine with that many people there, there's not much, you know, natural habitat
Does
left for
it
it.
look very different from a normal rhinoceros?
It's a little smaller than a normal rhinoceros. The females don't have horns. You know, think like what rhinoceros look like without horns. See like a female.
Wait, can you see a picture of it?
I'd have to look one up and show you.
Yeah.
But there are only about 50 of them left in the world.
50?
Mhm.
Well, there's a kind of like, I think it's one of the big cats. I can't remember its name, but it's a certain species of them, and there's only like, I think last time we checked, there was like only 13 left in the wild.
Mm-hmm. That's extremely rare here. Yeah. So, one more very interesting plant you find only in Indonesia. The largest flower in the world. You know what it is?
I heard about this. The Amorphous titanium.
Yeah, that is the scientific name. What's the more common name?
The corpse flower.
Yeah, the corpse flower.
Dad, is that the flower that we went
It's
saw at the
it moves
botanical
tall-
garden?
The blossom is taller
Botanical
than I am.
garden that looks like almost like a tree.
Yeah, it has like this big stalk and then it'll flower around that stalk, but it's pretty rare. It's like once every 10 or 15 years that it'll bloom.
Oh, but there's this one kind of
You know why it's called the corpse flower?
because of its smell.
Yeah, it smells like rotting flesh to attract flies to pollinate.
Really? When I went to the botanical garden, is it smell like that? Or is that the right kind?
When it's in bloom, it smells.
Oh, I thought that it wasn't bloom.
No, we only saw the stalk
Oh.
from it, but not the flower.
Oh. Hey, there's another kind of plant that I saw, but it was like, it only blooms like every 20 something years. Dad, is this also part of Jakarta?
We need help?
Part of Indonesia? Yeah.
I mean, Indonesia, that's right.
And I'll tell you what that island is too. You should mark that one. That really large island, that's for the southern part of this part of Indonesia, that island is Borneo.
Especially in the show.
Second largest island in the world after Greenland.
Wait, where is it?
Borneo, yeah. It's the largest one down here.
Okay.
The southern part of it is
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
The
Malaysia
southern-
is what you find on top.
I don't remember. Oh, cool. So it's like the line goes here, something like that.
Yeah. So mark that one. That's Borneo. And then there's one more of these large ones I want to point out to you as well. This is one that's kind of got like, it's next to Borneo. A bit small, smaller. But it's kind of got sort of like little army thingies coming off of it. And that one is called Sulawesi. Sulawesi is that one. Alright. These are the 4 main islands of Indonesia. Well, actually there's one more. New Guinea. 5 main islands.
I've heard New Guinea, the name New Guinea before.
Yeah, you guys know which island's New Guinea on there?
I do. It's this island.
Yeah, the one that's cut off. You don't see about half of New Guinea.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh
New
wait,
Guinea.
what's this island again?
Sulawesi.
Which one?
The one next to Borneo that's kind of got like sort of looks like arm things coming off of it. When it looks. Those are the main islands. Half of New Guinea. It's part of Indonesia. All right. Let's go on to our chart here. Urbanization, 54%. How's this compare to some of the other U.S. or other countries that we look at?
54%, you say?
It's more than Philippines for urban.
Yeah, just
Wait,
a little more than the
urbanization
Philippines.
is 54%, right?
Uh-huh.
It's about like 21% less than Taiwan.
Yeah, a lot less than U.S. or Taiwan. A little bit more in the Philippines, but pretty close. Pretty similar actually between like the Philippines and Indonesia in some ways. You know, like very like a bunch of islands, similar climate, similar kind of urbanization. Did you get that one? Urbanization 54%.
Hey, for United States. Let's see,
GDP per capita. You guys remember what that is? GDP per capita. Gross domestic product
Yeah.
per capita. What does this tell me?
What stuff produced in there?
The country may divided by the population.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're saying the average income roughly
You know what?
per person per year. Right. For Indonesia, it is 11,135. So what does that tell you about, I don't know, wealth, country, the average population? Not too high. There are definitely countries lower than this, but it's kind of not. Yeah, a little better than the Philippines, a little higher, but we're not too high. You have like a big gap, like people live in the cities. Actually, some of them are like doing pretty well, But like a lot of the rural people, there's a lot of people are really poor. They only live on like $2 a day.
Yeah, you guys have got.
Anybody remember what HDI stands for?
That much of your
Like how well it is doing and everything.
Pretty much. Anybody remember what these letters mean? H, human development index. Human development index. Yeah, so that's like their life expectancy.
Wait, I
amount of
forgot their
education they get.
GDP.
11,135.
11,135.
Yeah. The life expectancy, education, years of education, and average income go together to make this index. And for Indonesia, it's 0.68. Oops, that's not very good. 0.68, which kind of puts it in the middle range. Right.
So wait,
Compared to all the countries of the world.
A little bit better than
Okay. The languages. Anybody think they know what the official language of Indonesia is? Indonesian. Indian. Any other guesses? It is Indonesian. Indonesian. Put an N on there. They call it Bahasa Indonesia, which is based Indonesian language. But it's kind of like in the Philippines.
did I get all the islands, or like are these little islands over here part of?
They are too.
And what about these ones?
them
How do I
also.
write Indonesian?
You just write
That would
Indonesia
be on
and then.
at the end.
Okay.
And Indonesian is not the language that most people speak. At least not their first language.
It's just
In fact, only about 7% of people have Indonesian as the first language they learn at home.
English.
And then they learn Indonesian like when they go to school and then use that to communicate with. But what Indonesian is, it's the same language. It's Malay, like the language used in Malaysia also. Basically, before European, colonists came, European powers came,
Are these
Malay was a language used throughout all these islands, like for trade with
Are
each
these part
other.
of Indonesia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They trade with each other using Malay. So they took kind of one of those dialects of Malay, what you kind of call the elite dialect, like the one like kind of more upper class dialect, and they made that the national language. Called it Indonesian. Whenever they were getting into their independence.
First language you learn.
Let's go do some puzzles.
Right. But the language that most people speak, the majority of people speak, or the most spoken language,
I'm coming
would
in.
be Javanese. On the island of Java.
I'm coming, so
Like,
break Java and then.
but there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of languages, like the Philippines. What would you guess? How many languages?
3,000.
Not that many.
Okay, 300.
Over 700. Over 700 languages, different languages spoken in
And then how do you spell Javanese?
Javanese. Take Java and then put N-E-S-E. So, in fact, on the island of New Guinea, only on New Guinea,
And then what do I put after
there are like almost 300 languages in there. Like just the Indonesian part of New Guinea. There's like so many different languages on that one island. Now, people in Indonesia, they kind of look like people, you kind of seen some of them here, right? In the pictures. Look kind of similar to people from the Philippines, that sort of skin color. You actually have a pretty good percentage of, a minority of Chinese people in Indonesia too. Like about 4% of the population are Chinese. But what you find is the Chinese in Indonesia, they're like the wealthiest Indonesians. They like own a lot of businesses, a bunch of money. And a lot of Indonesians don't like the Chinese because of that.
Because they're rich.
Because they're rich, they're like, hey, these people, they're not Indonesian, they came to our country, they're taking advantage of us, and getting rich off of us. That's kind of what they think. Like people here, they're like, the 1%, they talk about them, like, oh, we need to do something about them, right? It's kind of like the same thing over there. For them, it's the Chinese.
What's the 1%?
You're kind of like 1% of the population in the United States owns like half of all the wealth in the United States. Right? Well, that's kind of the situation you have in Indonesia. The ones at the top are mostly the Chinese.
Hey, look at those monkeys.
Religions. Ready for that? Number one religion.
Muslim.
Yeah. Muslims are about 87%. All right. Next one, you have like Christians, divided up into Protestant and Catholic. Catholic, you have Catholic, and then any other one is grouped as Protestant. Protestant about 7%, and Catholic about 3%. It's kind of be the biggest ones. Protestants, that's from the time when the Dutch were here, or there, right? They brought Protestant religions and they spread a little bit. And then Catholic was from the Portuguese. So you have some other smaller ones like Buddhist, Hindu, Confucius. They're a pretty small percentage. But one that is pretty interesting in Indonesia are the Hindus.
No, maybe out of space in the little box.
There's one island in particular where like everybody's Hindu. And I think that's what you saw, where you like saw that dance happening. It's a really famous island. And a lot of people like to go there for vacations because like the culture is very interesting, the architecture is very interesting. And it's called Bali. Have you ever heard of it?
Nope.
Bali. I'll provide it up here. It's rather small. I don't think you could even. Yeah, you can see it on your map. It's if you look at Java. You know, you have Sumatra on one side, but on the other side is Bali. It's a small one. It almost looks like it's connected. You know, it's so close. It looks like it's connected on the map. But Bali is that one. It's not really a major island, not a huge population, but it's really interesting because it's all Hindu culture there.
It's not like the circle one right in between. That one.
Yeah, it's like right there.
No, that one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's Bali. Look at the end of Java. It looks like it's connected on the end of Java pretty much.
Oh, right here.
Mm-hmm.
How do I write Bali?
Bali is right there. B-A-L-I.
Bali, I think, is this thing right here.
Now something else interesting about geography of Indonesia, lots of volcanoes. You have more volcanoes in Indonesia than any other country in the world. It's like the hot spot of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Like over 120 active volcanoes
Wait, where?
in Indonesia, all three islands. But especially the southern, you know, like you see like that southern arc? That's right along tectonic plate border. And lots of volcanoes all along here. You don't really have the volcanoes up here, really. All through here.
Isn't the Ring of Fire like that?
Even bigger than that. So, in fact, the second largest earthquake ever recorded.
Dad, I just saw a picture that looked like some like European architect
You know what?
with like
We've
Indian
actually
architect
gone
mixed together.
past the Indonesia stuff on this
We
little
just got
video.
to
Yeah, it was showing you actually. I wasn't really paying attention to how far it went, but some of that last stuff you were seeing was not Indonesia. Thailand or even Malaysia. Okay, so go ahead and stop there. Actually, there's one more. Anyway, okay. Let's kind of finish up a little bit about the history. So, it was a colony of the Dutch, right? It stayed with them. And then during World War II, can you guess who invaded?
Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, Japan. In fact, every country we're going to talk about got invaded by Japan during World War II.
Japan's really.
The people are jumping in.
Okay, I don't need to watch that. Alright, this will be like, you'll see some people from, it's kind of be more like rural part of Indonesia here, not tourist part of Indonesia.